Good morning.
Happy Monday. We're back and
Back.
without Jamie today.
I
He
know.
had a last minute flight pop up. So
I
we miss you,
know.
buddy.
Jamie's missed. Yeah, now we just get to throw out wild numbers and have no one fact check us on air.
It's how Jamie got on the show to begin with.
Yeah, just being like your numbers are all wrong.
Yeah, we got Jamie live commented that some numbers I threw out were directionally incorrect. So we invited him on the show to correct them. But
Yeah.
Brandy, how's the weekend? You're back. You're not
I
in the cabin
know.
anymore.
I'm not. I'm back in Boston. It's been so nice being back here. The weather has been so, but it was like I walked into my apartment and I was like, wow, I haven't been here in like almost 6 weeks, 5 weeks, and it felt really nice to be home.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And you're paying rent that whole time too.
Shh, I don't need to be reminded of how much I pay in rent.
Yeah. Well,
How was
so
your weekend?
you're back. You dusted stuff off. Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy, which is great. My plants are still alive. I had someone come and deal with that. So now it's just back getting into routine, going back to the gym that I've also been paying for since I've been gone. So yeah, a little bit more like sleeping, just kind of getting back into a routine, which feels nice.
Fair enough. Yeah. For us, it's the calm before the storm. It was the last weekend that both Kristen and I will be in town together without company for the next at least 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah, every weekend. So it's
Wow. That's a
fall
real
time.
Brandy move.
Well, I guess. I mean, it's all work. This isn't play.
Yeah.
We have 1 play trip, 2 play trips in there. But the rest, guest eval coming up. We've got Burma. My wife has some horse shows to go to. So, and then friends coming in town because it's football season, and
Yes,
football season is fun in Auburn, Alabama. Except we've sucked for the past decade. Feels like.
Yeah, the SEC football world is just so foreign to me. But
We'll get you down eventually.
Yeah, I'll always go to the live games. I'm going to a Red Sox game next weekend, which I'm pretty excited about, even though I know zero about baseball. But it's all about the vibe,
It's okay. It's okay. Awesome. Well, we've got a good show today. We've got a guest coming on.
We do.
That, you're getting to know quite well, which is great. We'll also cover Airbnb and TripAdvisor's connection. And then we'll discuss a little bit of the layoffs that have happened over at Expedia and how they're shifting more and more, doubling down on B2B and AI.
Yeah, something we've been kind of calling out for a little while. But yeah, so it's not every day that you get to have your boss on the show. But I'm very excited. If you've been on LinkedIn in the last week, you saw that we have a new CEO, Amy Katari. So without further ado, please welcome Amy to the show.
Hi.
Hello, Amy. Welcome.
Hello, Brandy.
And for those who have been tuning in the past 3 weeks in a row, Brandy and I have color coordinated somehow perfectly.
Yeah. And I got the memo.
And Amy got the memo. We're all wearing light blue today. Last week it was all black, I think. Anyway, something's in the water, I guess. But Amy, welcome to the show and welcome to the industry. This is kind of your first soiree in the space, but if you will give a little background on where you're coming from and both physically and background wise.
Sure. Well, it's not completely foreign to me. I've always been in and around kind of real estate and property management in my personal life. I'm actually sitting right now in the house that I rent out for a good portion of the year. Leaving revenue on the table because I don't rent it out in August because I like to be here. But everyone always says to me, well, who manages it? And I manage it myself. And it's a 130-year-old house up in West Hampton Beach in Long Island. And it has had its share of challenges. When I recently visited one of our companies in Colorado, we got to share amazing stories on and they looked at me, they're like, wow, you actually really get this. I'm like, oh yeah, no. I had my very first renters had a septic system that blew up back into my house.
Oh,
so
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I managed all of that. But I came out of the residential home security industry. I ran a company in that industry and sold it to private equity multiple times. So, really have a strong background in working with and through private equity sponsors. We were providing home security, monitored home security, running service trucks, and had the end users were the homeowners. So, not dissimilar. And then more recently, I sit on the board of a number of resi service businesses, all private equity backed. But then most recently was the CEO role of the restoration and remediation business. And interestingly enough, most of our referral sources were property managers. So when there's a flood or there's a fire or, something else happens, we were the first one they called. So I've kind of been around the hoop on it a little bit. And when I heard about this, I thought, my God, after all these years, I've been in businesses providing a service that was when tragedy hit, burglaries, floods, fires, to be in a business now where my end game is for people to have the most amazing, luxurious vacations ever. This felt right.
Yeah, it's a nice change of pace. People are excited about this product and not calling it a panic.
Cool.
And I can tell you've been in it or understand it enough because you didn't say I Airbnb my house. You rent it out to short-term renters.
Yes. I have always prided myself on that I am able to convert to direct.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. See, I mean, that's huge. I was just explaining to someone this weekend, they're like, oh, so you work in Airbnbs? And I was like, no. And there's always this deep breath before you try to not forcibly re-educate people.
They're not a competitor. Yeah. Apparently they were at Romy when that press release came out, Brandy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So Amy, you're a couple weeks in. What do you notice about this space? What excites you about it as well? Besides, let's say, aside from delivering great experiences to guests, that's
right. Yeah, no, of course, that's
table
obvious.
stakes, right? But what do you see in the space industry wide?
Well, I think first at the StayTerra level, I think what's exciting to me is what feels like, look, I haven't gotten to know the entire industry yet, but what feels different for what StayTerra does is what we don't do. And we don't go and we don't buy a great local company and slap our brand on it. And that's very close to my heart because the home security company I bought, we kept all the brands of all the companies we bought. And actually in the early days, we answered the phone in the names of all the different alarm companies because we recognize the importance of that brand equity. And that every brand here keeps their name, they keep their team, they keep their reputation in their market, and realizing that brand and local relationships, those are the assets. And I think StayTerra has honed in on that as their playbook. And I think that was probably the most interesting opportunity for me is working with local brands.
Yeah, we've seen a couple entities prior to this PE cycle try to roll things up, whether it's Vacasa or Wyndham or Resort Quest. It's just really tough to get enough density to build a national brand in short-term rentals. You can still.
That's right. But, and I think the real opportunity, right, is that then people say, well, what do you do? Are you just going to create a collection of companies? And that's the furthest thing, from the truth. We're going to help layer in all the stuff that's hard for a single operator to do on their own. So a real data infrastructure. A shared CRM so they can cross collaborate, cross market things, revenue management, direct booking engines, real practical AI and technology. And if you think about it, if you go back, 10 years ago, probably 10 years ago, if you think about it, an operator could run a great 200 home business just with hustle and relationships. And today, that's very different. If you think about the cost value that you have that you're dealing with in terms of technology, data, marketing, revenue management, and you're up against competitors who are spending, gobs of money in those areas, that gap's getting bigger and bigger. So kind of let us help you take care of that delta there.
Yeah, as a founder, you lean into your strengths, and some people are extremely tech savvy and can piece together the whole back end and make it fly. Others are great salespeople and they can just sign up homeowners left and right, but maybe not deliver all of the revenue that a homeowner might want. But it makes a ton of sense, and I think this is why we've seen a lot of PE groups in this cycle jump in and keep local brands and figure out where they can optimize. Have you been in long enough to know kind of where the secret sauce of StayTerra lands versus some of the other private equity roll-ups?
Yeah. So one of the things I've talked about quite often is when you get to, value creation, there's two things that create value in roll-ups of this sort. One is the integration, and it has to be through integration where it's valuable at the tech, at the marketing, at the accounting, finance, and be able to take the pressure off the brands. And number two is organic growth. So I think one of our biggest roles in this and the secret sauce is how do we help these brands grow? So being able to show organic growth and being able to show a truly integrated business that all the brands that come under StayTerra have kind of the StayTerra gold stamp of approval in terms of how they operate, but yet they are still very independent and autonomous in how they operate in their market. And I think recognizing that you can't cut your way to a successful platform, and recognizing that number one, above everything else, above technology, marketing, business development, is taking care of your people and maintaining your operators and maintaining your teams. Because if you don't, 6 months later, when you start to lose owners and you're like, what happened? The model's broken. Well, it's because you lost your secret sauce, which is the people.
Yeah.
Churn.
And the last thing I would say is that M&A acquisitions, we're all backed by private equity and sponsors. Everyone likes to move fast. And M&A has to be earned. And the gating earn to do that has to be integration. Like, you really need to pace your deals based on your capacity, which is based on your integration, and doing it smoothly and effectively, and making sure everyone's happy.
Yeah, that's been, the work of the last couple of months is kind of getting the structure and framework ready for integration to make sure that when we do make these acquisitions, that the process is as smooth as possible. And I think one of the interesting things when I first started, I was talking with Dan, who's running a lot of our M&A processes. And there is kind of a negative connotation in the industry about like these
Absolutely.
PE groups, like the suits from New York, like whatever. But I think there's some really great examples. We were talking pre-show about Cape and Coast. And when they were asked, like, what do you need right now to like that? If you could snap your fingers, you need something that's like that would make you successful for the season. And they needed some new some new parts for their laundry facility. And it's like, okay, like, let's get that done. And that's one of, I think, the benefits of working, being in a group like ours is these big capital projects, whether it's a CRM or AI or laundry facilities, things that might have to get delayed because of cash flow. We can now come in, fill that gap, and let the operators really do what they do best, which is providing that great guest experience.
Well, the other one that resonated with me on that same conversation was, when I first started talking to the team at GSP, I heard the story about when we bought Prime Vacations, we got hit with 2 hurricanes right after that.
Yeah, B2B hurricanes.
And wiped out a lot of the inventory. And that the entire team at Garnet Station Partners, the private equity firm behind StayTerra, were on a plane. They were down there. Board members were down there. They were walking the properties. They were talking to owners. And they said, whatever you need. And we survived it. And I actually think we thrived because of it. And that's a real difference here, is that particularly the sponsor we have behind us at StayTerra, they're hands-on and they actually are operators.
Yeah, exactly.
That's huge. And to be also diversified out of single market exposure. Colorado didn't have a great ski season this year.
Yep.
Florida can get hit by hurricanes. So being able to diversify cash flow and helps significantly doing it across an umbrella of companies. Amy, 5 years from now, what is a success for StayTerra? Is it amassing a number of logos, a specific property count goal, organic growth metrics. Is there one kind of guiding KPI for you guys?
Yeah, I think that's such a good question. Look, we want to build density in all the markets that we're in. We want to create, liquidity and equity value in something larger than what all of the brands, have before we partner with them. But really, it's not just about adding 5,000 to 7,000 homes. Home count is not, I don't think, the only measure of success. I want to see, 90+% retention rates with homeowners. We want to see, an 80+ NPS score across our businesses. We want to see growing same home revenue year over year. And then I think the ultimate is that we have brands that teams want to work with and people want to be part of their company. If you hit those things, then scale happens. If you chase scale first, then churn happens. So I think really being able to kind of just lean into those core metrics that speak to quality and customer satisfaction. If you really go after those, then we'll have the scale that we're looking for.
Yeah, and then those partners, those companies that we acquire will fall in line with kind of like this vision that we have set out. It'll kind of fall together like organically, which I think is
right. And
really
not just
great.
About putting like a flag in 50 states. We want to really identify markets that we think make sense and really build out those markets. And I think there's a lot of density to be had in each of these markets that have been gated by the fact that the operators couldn't take on the economics involved to go get the things necessary to support that kind of expansion. But now we can bring that to the table.
Yep. Beautiful. Well, Amy, we like to end with a quick rapid fire of all of our guests. Didn't prep you for this pre-show, but I'll ask a couple questions. Brandy will as well. And then we'll thank you for joining us.
Great.
So, favorite vacation destination?
I'm here.
Your house.
I am at, as my people who know me call this my happy place. I've been in this place for my entire life. And so I can travel to Europe or anywhere else. This is where I like to be.
Okay. Well, that answers the ski or beach question.
Sounds like I know. That's
beach. I like ski places actually in like the spring and the fall because I think it's beautiful, hiking in those areas. I had a business in Sun Valley, Idaho, and I loved going there just because of the hiking and being in the mountains.
Okay. Number one place that you want to go that you haven't been to?
That was my question.
Oh, goodness. No, that is rapid fire that I haven't thought of. Where I haven't been to is I'm Polish. And my great-grandmother that came through Ellis Island and came here to West Hampton Beach and set the roots. I haven't been to Poland.
Poland is awesome. I've spent some time there.
I've been all around it, but I haven't gotten there yet.
All right. Well,
I was going to say one more. Favorite cuisine, like not necessarily to cook, but to consume.
Italian.
Yeah. Good choice.
All right. Brandy's going to have to cook a team dinner. Have you heard about her capabilities?
I have not heard about her capabilities, but maybe when we get to, we have some exciting stuff on the line here at the company, and we'll have some big announcements over the coming, I'd say 30 to 45 days, Brandy.
Yeah.
Combination of exciting things. So maybe we'll have to have a celebratory dinner, and you're cooking.
Oh my gosh,
Sorry,
that'd
Brandy.
be really, high stakes. One of my New Year's goals was I used to do these dinners every month for over a span of a couple of years. And now I'm trying to do at least one or two like big blowout dinners every year. So maybe my 2026 one will be a StayTerra celebratory dinner. So I'll start thinking about some ideas.
Okay. Well, I can give you a little known fact on the cooking front for me is my last name Katari is Indian. My husband is Indian. He can't cook Indian food, to save his life. But I started cooking 35 years ago, and I cook a lot of Indian food at request often. So by friends and family. So
Maybe a collab.
All right.
Yeah, I love Indian food. So that sounds awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. This is great. It feels so like just personally so exciting to be a part of this team and kind of knowing what we have coming towards the end of the year, especially as we go into conference season and we get to kind of be out and about in our circles. And it feels just so great to be so excited to talk about all the things that we have on the horizon.
Oh my gosh, so excited. And thank you both so much for having me here. Very last minute, but I appreciate it.
Of course. Glad to have you. Good to meet you.
Okay. Take care. You too.
Yeah. Bye. All righty. Well, before we dive into our next topic, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors at Built. They're helping restaurants and hotel F&B teams better understand their guests and create more personalized experiences that drive repeat visits. So if you care about loyalty and guest experience, they're definitely worth checking out. Head to joinbuilt.com/GMH or find that link in our show notes. All righty.
All right, Brandy. So it seems like every week Airbnb launches a new category that makes them more and more an OTA. So there's absolutely no denying it now. The car troller integration, turning that on the hotel side. They still don't have flights, but they now have access to TripAdvisor and all of the experiences through them. So thoughts, comments, concerns?
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't really surprise me a lot. I mean, versus like trying to like they've been working on experiences for so long, and TripAdvisor, even though their brand has obviously suffered and like the company has suffered in the last couple of years, they do have this incredible network. And so if you're going to try to really boost the experiences, like by a meaningful way, this kind of partnership makes a lot of sense. And I think that Airbnb doesn't need to try to pretend anymore that everything is like grassroots organic. Like they're a publicly traded company, like, and I think I'm trying to get my new merch, that sweet Tam. I think you have to have some power players,
Yeah, I would love to be a fly on the wall in their board meetings where you've got the legacy people saying this is so far from our brand. This is nothing true to our core, where the experiences were led by individuals doing one of a kind type of experiences.
Those are still happening,
Well, and same on the short-term rental side. It's, a single mom renting out a spare bedroom to cover rent, right? That's kind of core to their thesis. But now you've got TripAdvisor and hotels and all of that, and it changes. I'm sure the branding folks at Airbnb have fought the good fight, but obviously in this new era of AI distribution and what I'm certain Airbnb has in the works on that front, it's all about access to as much inventory as absolutely possible. And they seem to be going full blown OTA. So when's the airline release coming out?
I know it's just that's the last bit. And I've, having talked about this for so long, you learn that like, that's actually like one of the least profitable parts of an OTA. However, it is like an essential part of the trip for most people. I mean, unless it's drive to, like you're flying. So
it's the first thing I bought. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was also thinking, I mean, especially for Europe and places that have much better train systems than we do, but like having access to like book with Amtrak or Brightline or, whatever, that's like just all these, the fully integrated trip, like they're going to have to get that transportation part in there at some point. And it's not cars. 'Cause like that's,
Agreed. Yeah. But to your point, it's the margins. There's lots of margins on experiences and on hospitality. They've got 15.5%. It's a hefty chunk. Cool. Any more thoughts on this? I'm sure Jamie will have some comments to
I just don't, I think it makes a lot of sense. I didn't there wasn't, sometimes there's Airbnb releases where I feel like, wow, that's really great. Or wow, I really hate that. And this, I feel like it makes sense. And it's still, if you want that local feel. Like the thing, if they have their Vatican tours, like you're not getting some local Italian man taking you through the Vatican. That's like a ticket you have to purchase through like an official site. There's that kind of stuff where like if you want to do a local pasta making class in Rome while you're there, or a local food tour, like you'll still be able to find that. So I don't think it totally destroys kind of, I've done the Airbnb experiences and that I've really liked that have been those little tours, and it's great. It's fine. You can still find them.
How long lived is a relationship like this? So they built their own supply. Well, that could be an option, but they built their own supply in short-term rentals. They've built some of their own experiences. They're building their own hotel supply. Experiences, they could go out and build more, the Vatican or any other major tourist attraction, they can go sign up directly. So over time, I would imagine this TripAdvisor relationship to continuously lose value. But
they're just getting a list of people to partner with. Like that's, it's just like, that would be
who sells the most. Yeah,
exactly. What are people actually buying? That's the focus. So yeah, I mean, who knows? I think one of the only things that, it doesn't make me like really nervous, but like that I think is just, it seems like Airbnb is really doing a lot of big initiatives all at once without some of these really coming fully to fruition. And so is there the focus on like what the core strategy should be? That would be my only concern.
Amy talked about integration into the company and integrating this much new supply and this many new verticals for Airbnb. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Obviously, they have known these are coming for years, and I'm sure they've got a plan for it. But it does seem from the outside looking in like it's taking on a lot at one time.
Yeah. Well, in the opposite direction, Expedia is cutting some things, namely 8 expensive executives, as they're reorganizing around AI and their B2B platform. What are your thoughts on this? Is this just a HR headline, nothing to be concerned about? Is this leading into something bigger?
Well, AI is supposed to take workers' jobs, not executives' jobs. But in this case, I think it's probably a headline of just a little bit of corporate restructuring. We know their B2B line keeps growing and growing, and they're probably looking to reinvest more into that segment than potentially any of the legacy ones. But they're also able to put out, and everyone is able to put out in hours and days what used to take weeks and months from a tech and a code standpoint. So fewer people are needed when you have that sort of output and throughput. So I don't know. I don't think there's a whole lot to this story besides just a corporate restructuring. And
it's not like Expedia is going out of business next week, like,
they didn't shut down the B2B business or nothing too crazy. But if anyone has news and wants to tell us more about it, then we'd love to dive in.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we wrap, we were talking with Amy about our brands that are doing such a great job. And I just wanted to give a shout out, a little plug to the Prime team. They did this incredible show on Staycation, which it's on officially on like the Roku channel, but you can also look at it on YouTube. And it's basically like vacation rental cribs. And I was watching the episodes and just seeing these like just incredible houses. And, especially because I'm up in Boston, I'm like this little island by myself. It's so great to see like what people are doing on a daily basis and like just these insane houses and like the product that people give, these guests, and just knowing that this industry, like we talk a lot about some of the harder parts of the industry, but then you get to see kind of the fruits of that. So just shout out to the team for really delivering some outstanding experiences for those people. And I'll have like the links. I'll put them on my LinkedIn if anyone wants to watch some vacation rental cribs, basically. Do
it. Awesome. Big week. Anything crazy?
No, I have like a week. I'm just really enjoying being home. I mean, obviously a lot of like work going on, but the only really fun thing I have planned is, so I didn't know this until I moved back to Boston, but Donna Summer is from Boston, and on Friday there is day where the city like hosts a like disco, like all ages disco party at City Hall, and I'm going with my friend and his mom, which I'm really excited about.
All right, bring back the 70s.
I love it. You know, I am a big disco girl, so I love that.
I did not. I knew you were a big EDM girl, but
yeah,
did not know disco as part of that.
Big disco. Oh yeah. How about you? What's on the docket this week?
Yeah, same old over here. No travels, but we are getting closer and closer to the conference season. And
I know.
Madrid. Yeah.
I was looking at the calendar and I was like, oh wow, I'm excited to be home for a little bit. And then I was like, or the middle of September, I'm just not here at all. Like, I mean, Festival is going to be so much fun. And then we have Skiff Global Forum, which I am, you're not joining us for that, but I'm basically like come back from Madrid, turn around, take the train down to New York.
So, nice. Well, yeah, it'll be both will be great events. We're 3 weeks out from Festival and 4 weeks from Skift. So there will be, I'm sure, lots of fun news and topics to discover. Yes. But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on the new boss.
Yeah, she's pretty great. I'm really excited. It feels like invigorating, like this point in the year. There's just like a lot of really fun stuff happening. So I can't wait to announce some of the really fun stuff we have coming.
I can't wait to hear what they are. We better be breaking it on the show, Brandy.
I know. I have to be like, hey, listen, I need the breaking news.
We go first, everybody.
We go first. All right. Well, thanks for everyone who turning in live, everyone listening later on, and we will see you all next week.